Hello and welcome to gardenfocus.co.uk. Today I'm going to show you how to plant blackcurrant bushes. Now these are really very simple things to plant and it's almost foolproof. But a few tips will help you get the best of them, because after all your blackcurrant bushes will be there for 15 to 20 years maybe. So a little care when you plant them will look after them for a long time. First, the variety. Most of the varieties nowadays are perfectly acceptable, excellent. We're just going to plump for one and we'll go for Ben Lomond. That's Ben Lomond, L-O-M-O-N-D. There's a whole series of Lomond, Ben varieties of blackcurrants, and this was the first, and in our opinion it's still the best. It's a heavy cropper and it produces fruit from mid to late July through to early to mid-August. And the beauty of this plant is that you can plant it anywhere in the UK because the flowers are produced quite late in the year, and therefore that means that the danger of them being hit by a frost, a late frost, is minimal, very minimal. So it's one of the most dependable ones. It is of course self-fertile, like all blackcurrant bushes that we know of. If you're going to plant more than one of these, then we suggest you plant them about 1.5 metres apart either way. That's 5 foot. And basically the pruning regime is every late winter or early spring, cut them back to about 1.5 metres tall, 5 foot, and just try and make sure that the inside of the bush is relatively free from growth. The idea behind that is to let them have air go through the centre of the plant and all around it, and that stops a lot of fungal disease. Although having said that, Ben Lomond is one of the best for resisting fungal diseases. So what you want basically is a goblet shape like that goes down like that, and thin out the centre, and also try to thin out any crossing branches. So to get back to actually planting the thing, what we're going to do is we're going to dig a hole, and we'll show this in a second. We're going to dig a hole that's just slightly bigger than the roots. We're going to add some compost to that hole. Now the compost we're using is spent tomato grow bag compost, but any compost will do. Anything that will add sort of bulk and drainage to the soil, that's ideal. So we're going to add that in, mix that in. We're then going to put in a good handful per plant, maybe 2 handfuls if you want to be generous, of bloodfish and bone. Mix that all together and then put the roots into the hole and firm the soil down around it. Now with blackcurrant bushes, they're different from red currant bushes and white currant bushes. They do best, blackcurrant bushes, if they grow several stems from just below the surface of the soil. So the best thing you can do to encourage them to do this is you look at the stem and you will see the soil mark where it was originally planted to, the depth it was originally planted at, and you plant it about 1 to 2 inches, 3 to 5 centimetres deeper than that, so that the soil mark is below the actual soil level you're planting into. And that will encourage them to spread out 4 or 5 branches from below the soil, and that's how you will get the best crop of blackcurrants from your plant. Now, what we've got here is you're going to be looking at a new allotment. You can see behind me it's just grass, and it is a brand new allotment. I'm planting the first plants on this allotment. Now I know from experience that the way top fruit grow, the best thing you can do is to have a free draining soil that retains a lot of moisture. And the way you do this is, as I said, when you plant them, you put in lots of compost, mix it in with the soil, especially the soil which is clay, mix that all together, and then you take 4 layers, could be 5, of newspaper and spread it around where you're going to plant the plant. You then plant it and then put chip bark on top of that newspaper. Now what that will do is, in this allotment here that's just plain grass, where I put the newspaper and cover it with chip bark, it will kill the grass. It'll kill it dead. You won't have to put any weed killer down there at all. It'll just kill it because it won't be able to get any light, basically. And what it'll do then is, after it's killed it, it will retain the moisture throughout the next 3 or 4 years with no problem at all. And because you've added the compost at the growing time, that will let it drain freely. You will need to add, after year 2 or so, maybe a little bit more chip bark, just to top it up and keep it going, because the paper will break up and eventually compost away. But the chip bark, if you just keep on, just adding a little bit each year after the 2nd year, it'll do fine. Anytime you come to do any clippings, chippings of anything woody, just make sure you do it around the area where you've got your top fruit, and just snip away and let it fall down around the plants, and that will add more sort of bark, woody substance to the soil. So that's our basic principles. So the actual planting bit will only take a couple of minutes, I think, because it's very simple. The only thing to remember is plant the blackcurrant bush an inch or 2 lower down in the soil than the soil mark on the ground. So we'll hone in on this and let you see exactly what's going on in a bit more detail. Okay, so we've dug our hole here. We've incorporated lots of spent compost in our case, because the soil here is very clayey. The ideal soil for these plants, a blackcurrant one, is free draining but moisture retaining. So this mixture now will be okay. We put a couple of handfuls of bloodfish and bone and mix it all in there, and now we're going to plant it. So the only trick to planting a blackcurrant bush is to plant it an inch or 2 deeper than the level at which it was previously planted. Now if you can look here, you can see there's fibrous roots here. Sometimes you also see a soil mark around the stem there, but we don't see any here. So we're actually going to plant our plant to a depth about like that. So it's already got some shoots coming off there, and there, and potentially some more shoots there. And that's what blackcurrant's like. Oops. Let's just dig a hole for it. There we are. Gather the soil round. Will do fine, and then we just firm it down with our feet. Like that. And that's our blackcurrant bush planted. Now what we like to do, especially given the fact that this is a new allotment and it's not dug over at all, what we're going to do is get 4 pieces of paper, just normal newspaper, and put it round like that. The only problem you can have doing this, if it's a windy day, you'll need 2 people, because the paper will blow away very quickly. we'll just put a bit of bark on it there like that. And like that, hold it down. Part there, and basically that's the job done. We're going to cover this with a little bit more bark, and that's it. This probably won't produce fruit this year. We're planting it in March, by the way, early March. That's unlikely to be fruit this year, but it will produce masses of fruit next year and go on to improve for the next 4 or 5 years. So happy planting with your blackcurrant bushes. If you want to see the whole story, go to gardenfocused.co.uk, where you'll see this video, lots more pictures and a full write-up. Thanks for watching.